Hello everyone and welcome to this video about the 11 most mysterious and powerful women in history. Throughout history, there have been women who have defied expectations and broken barriers to achieve greatness. From political power to military might, these women have left their mark on history and continue to inspire us today. The first is the Virgin Mary is one of the most iconic and revered women in history, known for her faith and her role in Christianity. However, she is not the only woman who has left her mark on the world through her power, intelligence, and influence. In this article, we will explore the lives of these women who have shaped history in their own unique ways. Let's start with Cleopatra VII, the last pharaoh of ancient Egypt. Cleopatra was known for her beauty, intelligence, and charisma, as well as her political savvy. She was fluent in several languages and was able to negotiate with Rome to maintain Egypt's independence. One of her most famous anecdotes is her alliance with Julius Caesar, which helped her solidify her power. Another is her tragic end, as she famously committed suicide by snakebite rather than be taken captive by her Roman enemies. Next, let's talk about Empress Wu Zetian, the only woman in Chinese history to rule as emperor in her own right. Wu Zetian was a brilliant politician who used her intelligence and cunning to consolidate power and maintain her position. One of her most notable anecdotes is her creation of the secret police, which helped her root out corruption and maintain control. Another is her construction of a massive Buddha statue, which was seen as a symbol of her power and piety. Hatshepsut was another powerful female ruler, who ruled as pharaoh in ancient Egypt. She was known for her ambitious building projects, including the construction of the Deir el-Bahari temple. Hatshepsut also oversaw a successful military campaign in Nubia, expanding the reach of the Egyptian empire. One of her most intriguing anecdotes is her supposed use of cosmetics to appear more masculine, which helped her gain acceptance as a female ruler in a male-dominated society. Joan of Arc was a French military leader who played a pivotal role in the 100 Years' War. She claimed to have received visions from God, which inspired her to lead the French army to several victories. One of her most famous anecdotes is her participation in the Siege of Orleans, which is credited with turning the tide of the war in favor of the French. Another is her trial and execution by the English, which only served to make her a martyr and a symbol of French nationalism. Moving on to England, we have Queen Elizabeth I, one of the most famous monarchs in history. Elizabeth ruled during a time of great political and religious upheaval, and she used her intelligence and charisma to navigate the turbulent waters of the Tudor court. One of her most notable anecdotes is her speech to the troops at Tilbury, where she rallied her army against the Spanish Armada. Another is her refusal to marry, which allowed her to maintain her power and independence. Boudica was a warrior queen of the ancient Britons, who led an uprising against the Roman occupation of Britain. She was known for her fierce bravery and her ability to rally her people against their oppressors. One of her most famous anecdotes is her sack of the Roman city of Colchester, which was seen as a symbolic victory against the might of the Roman Empire. Another is her tragic defeat at the hands of the Romans, which only served to make her a martyr and a symbol of British resistance. Catherine the Great was a Russian empress who ruled during a time of great cultural and intellectual flowering in Russia. She was known for her patronage of the arts and sciences, as well as her political savvy. One of her most notable anecdotes is her expansion of the Russian Empire, which included the annexation of Crimea. Another is her supposed love affairs, including with the famous military leader Grigory Potemkin, which only added to her reputation as a powerful and alluring ruler. Empress Theodora was a Byzantine empress who rose from humble beginnings to become one of the most powerful women in the ancient world. She was known for her intelligence and political acumen, as well as her support for women's rights. One of her most famous anecdotes is her role in the Nika riots, where she convinced her husband, Emperor Justinian, to stand firm against the rebels. Another is her work to reform laws that discriminated against women, including the rights of divorce and property ownership. Sor Juana Inés de la Cruz was a Mexican nun and writer who lived during the colonial period. She was known for her brilliant intellect and her passion for learning, as well as her advocacy for women's education. One of her most notable anecdotes is her refusal to submit to the demands of the Church, which sought to restrict her intellectual pursuits. Another is her famous poem, Hombres Necios que Accuse, which criticized the double standards and hypocrisy of men. Finally, we have Hypatia of Alexandria, a Greek mathematician and philosopher who lived during the late Roman Empire. She was known for her brilliant intellect and her pioneering work in mathematics and astronomy. One of her most famous anecdotes is her brutal murder at the hands of a Christian mob, who accused her of witchcraft and blasphemy. Her death is seen as a symbol of the decline of classical learning and the rise of religious intolerance in the ancient world. In conclusion, these 11 women were some of the most mysterious and powerful figures in history, and their legacies continue to inspire us today. From political power to military might, from magical powers to intellectual brilliance, these women defied expectations and shattered barriers to achieve greatness. So let us remember and honor their contributions to the history of mankind. Thank you for watching.